Hello and welcome to your Friday edition of The Nerve and part 2 of The Nervy Traveler. On day 3, we went to the Frida Kahlo Museum, which is actually the house, which is sort of more like a compound in which she lived and worked with her husband, Diego Rivera. Now, Frida was a tormented woman. She had been sickly as a child, and she was a true artist. And she fell in love with Diego Rivera, who was already a famous artist, revered. She was much younger. He was married, I believe. She was like his mistress. They wound up getting married. Diego left his wife. They wound up getting married, but Diego was forever cheating on Frida. And one of the heartbreaks of Frida's life, well, we didn't really even realize this until, again, this is where art just like blows your effing mind. So there's this one portrait in the museum. It's an oil painting, rather. I believe it's an oil painting that Frida made. And at first, we both assumed that the central figure in the painting of a woman on a bed, on a hospital bed, who had just given birth, must have been Frida, and she must have had a miscarriage. And then we were told, no, that was one of Diego's other women who had his baby, and Frida painted her. And then there's a other stuff going on in the background of that portrait. It's smaller, and so it's made to feel smaller, like not as important. And it's Frida on an operating table being worked on, and the scale, the proportion, the colors, who she chose to foreground, the subject matter, all of it is just such a window into this woman's psyche. And, you know, she had abortions that left her unable to do the one thing she wanted to do, which was have Diego's baby. And it's all over her artwork. It's all over the house, you know, and then you begin to think as you're going through it and you're looking at her work, and it's like, you know, did she allow herself to be punished in this very painful way by her husband's open and repeated philandering? You know, she wasn't considered the real talent. He was considered the real talent. And it's the Frida Kahlo Museum for a reason, okay? Then we came upon Diego's death mask. Now, Diego's death mask is in a downstairs guest room. And if that placement doesn't tell you everything, like everything. And then we went further around the house to the second floor. Now, up on the second floor was their studio. They shared a workspace. And it's so interesting, you know, like the ego and what each of them, the items that are chosen to represent, like basically the artist at work. Diego had this enormous, basically stationary wooden, custom bespoke. It was basically like an artistic way of hanging all of his brushes, paints, all of his utensils, whatever. And we learned that it was gifted to him by like a Rockefeller. And then on the other side of that is Frida's wheelchair. Says a lot. Says a lot. And then we go past that into what was Frida's bedroom. Now, Frida too has a death mask. Her death mask is placed on her bed, and it is lovingly wrapped in like a beautiful, beautiful scarf. And it just, the separation of the two death masks, and hers in the bedroom that's elevated and his in the downstairs guest bedroom, says everything. So then after that, Belinda and I went to the outside. The house has this sort of beautiful encased outside plaza where Frida and Diego would host their many famous and esteemed guests, artists, what have you. And we started talking, and, you know, she was saying that she found herself loving it more than she had anticipated, and that she really had like an emotional reaction to it. And And I said the same. I felt the exact same way. And we started talking about artists, female artists, what Frida was up against. And Belinda started talking about what she began in the punk scene in LA. She wasn't a pop star in waiting. She was clearly always going to be famous, but she really began in the punk scene in LA. And she talked about what female artists, any female who wants to make her way in the world, kind of what they really need to realize their dreams and ambitions. It's amazing stuff. Here you go. I thought I would be impressed by her works, her life, her short life, but really there's something that's so human about this place.
Yeah.
You come away feeling like, without having read a biography or seen a film about, like, you feel like you, especially as a woman, that you know this woman. I mean, it's such a testament to her short creative life.
Oh, totally. I was really impressed. I mean, I'm glad you wanted to go, because I wasn't that interested in really ever going.
Right.
But I'm so glad. It was like, it exceeded my expectations. I mean, it was amazing.
I have to ask you too, like, as a female artist who's been working in this space, and by the way, who originated in punk rock.
Yeah.
Those are your real origins.
Oh yeah, totally.
You're so glam, you know?
But I have a punk rock heart.
You do. You really do.
Totally.
And I wonder specifically if there's anything that resonates with you as an artist about Frida and this space where, when we came out of the guest room, you said you really do. You experience energy in a very elemental way, and you said this room feels heavy.
Well, I thought that the bedroom was heavy for me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was, I can usually feel it right here, and that's where I felt it. But I mean, utmost respect, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just really impressed with this place.
Another parallel, and you may be too modest to make it, but I would definitely say Frida, as a female visual artist, overshadowed not only by her husband, but by the men. It was male dominated. And you came up in the punk scene in LA, and that was so male dominated.
Oh yeah, well, the whole thing is that, we started and had no idea how to play our instruments, and we're self-taught. And then from the very beginning, because we were a curiosity in the beginning, we would pack clubs. I mean, we were packing the whiskey and the strawberry and all these clubs, and the record companies would come, and they're all headed by men, and they would say, "We can see that people love you, and you're great, but you're women."
Really?
Yeah,
They would just
totally.
say it like that.
They would say it like that. There's never been any successful female band. There's been, of course, on a cult level, but not on a mainstream.
Like,
they were
all
told that to
female
our
bands.
face.
That's what they said.
That's what they said.
So it's never been done before, and there's no way you girls can do it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, all the big record companies passed on us.
Did that make you feel like we're never going to get there, or did that just light a fire in you, like, we're going to get there?
Well, I mean, I had no doubt. I mean,
You had no doubt.
I had no doubt, and I would say that we would always say, "Okay, let's just give it another 6 months, and if it doesn't happen, it will disband." But I don't think anybody really. I mean, actually, the course from 1978. I mean, in being self-taught, not knowing how to write songs or do anything, to being one of the biggest bands in America in 1980. I mean, it really wasn't, giving 6 months in 6 months, it really didn't take that long.
Right.
In the scheme of things, because usually artists, it takes, years and years and years. But for us, it was just one of those things that was meant to be, I think.
Yeah. And did you ever hear from any of those execs at record labels who passed on you?
I can't remember. But, it was very sexist, of course, and they would actually just say that we can't because you're girls, because you're all women. We're girls, we weren't women at that time. We were, really like just out of our teens.
And look at what the Go-Go's went and did.
Yeah, it's true. Against all odds.
And what you did as a solo artist as well.
Yeah, I mean, it was just one of those things, fate, I think. Fate and luck. It's a combo.
And self-belief,
Yeah.
which
yeah.
is difficult to maintain when the powers that be are telling you can't.
Yeah. Or we just, would say basically, fuck you.
That's why Belinda's the coolest
just-
one going in Mexico City.
Exactly. And I think Frida had a little bit of fuck you in her too.
Absolutely.
And that's another thing that I resonated with is the fuck you attitude.
Absolutely.
She was very punk rock.
She's very punk rock, like you. Style. She dressed to cover her physical imperfections. She was very conscious of her
So do I.
self-presentation. Who doesn't? But style, beauty, glamour, but like that's the thing I think that separates the goods from the greats. A little
Totally.
bit of that fuck you.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Totally. You have to have that. You have to have that to survive, basically.
You
I
do.
think. And to really, you need that, I think, to really get ahead. You can't lay down and roll over, Just
Never.
fuck
Can't
you.
hide under the bed. Got to go get it.
Little bit of fuck you.
A little bit of fuck you. Or maybe a lot. Maybe a lot, depending on the day.
Exactly. Depending on the day. Yeah.
I'm so happy I got to see Frida Kahlo.
Me too.
The museum with you for the first time. I can't think of a better travel buddy to do it with.
Oh, well, I loved it. And I'm so glad you wanted to come.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, totally.
It's great.
It was great.
That's it from the Frida Kahlo Museum. So after that, we decided what we really wanted to do was go shopping. And I'm going to tell you something. At one point, we had a tour guide. I'm taking full responsibility for this. Belinda's a very nice person. I felt like I was in an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm. Sometimes you get these tour guides and they're like, this city was built on aqueducts and the way they engineered them back then was blah blah blah, and you're just like your eyes are glazing over. You're like, I'm gonna just like go. I'm just gonna fall over on my face. I'm so bored, And I kept trying to say to this tour guide, like, we're good, like we got a lot of history yesterday. We just came from the museum. We want to go shopping. We're just gonna go shopping and have some fun. You don't have to keep telling us stuff. It's totally cool. And she was like, yeah, cool. And then she started going again and again and again. And I literally said, like, I felt like I was Larry David. I really did. And I was like, listen, I said, we just want to go shopping. I'm going to be very shallow right now. Okay. I don't care about history. I don't care about the like whatever. And so we went to this, we were looking for like a really authentic indoor Mexican market where locals shop, where they spend their weekends, because this is where they spend their weekends. And you can buy everything there, from like fresh fruit to electronics to like anything you want. It's there. So Arturo, our intrepid videographer and local, who knows, like he's like one of those middle-aged men who's like still a hipster. Like they know everyone, they know where all the levers are, they know who to talk to. So he took us to like one of the best. And it was no frills, and it's like, you're moving in like these very narrow hallways, and there's just like all this stuff, and like this older woman running a market, like just kept giving us all this fresh fruit that was native to try. Tracy Ellis Ross thought she was being really sophisticated when she went to an olive oil shop to buy olive oil so she could bring home some organic, authentic stuff. And she went into that shop. I'll never forget this. And this is the wit and witticisms that come off the top of the head of one Tracy Ellis Ross, who loves to speak extemporaneously and say a lot of nothing. She says to the shopkeeper, what's really funny and interesting about me?
Oh my God.
It's like nobody wants to hear ever when they meet a stranger. She goes, I love olive oil. She loves trees. She loves hotel pools. She loves olive oil. How basic can you get?
I love olives. Like since I'm a child, my sister said I smelled like olive juice. So I also love olive oil.
And the shopkeeper's like, oh. The poor shopkeeper's like, this is clearly a very wealthy, dumb American who's going to spend a lot of money at my store, so I got to tolerate this shit. And then Tracy buys like a bunch of really expensive, specific to the region olive oil that you can't get in America. And she goes, yeah, can you ship it to Beverly Hills? And they're like, no. And she can't believe it. She can't believe that they won't ship. Rather than arranging her own shipping or whatever, but it seems she was without a personal assistant for that little jaunt. I don't know. But anyway, so we go to this incredible, authentic indoor Mexican market, and Arturo brings us to the best food stalls. And again, like these places, if you're like live in like New York, for example, it would be the equivalent of like plunking down just like, you know, a bodega in the Bronx in these places. They're not fancy at all, but are they making real deal Mexican food that you're paying like $4 for and you're dying over it? Yes, they are. So we're seated at one of these, and then behind us, there's this group of young men in a circle, and an old man is holding what looks like a World War II like radio. But there's a wire that they're all holding, or they're all like somehow connected to it, and he keeps pushing this button, and the boys keep like jumping up and like leaping and like yelling. And I was like, what is that? And Belinda goes, oh, that's a game that they all play in bars at like the end of a work day. They all get electrocuted and it's fun for them. And I was like, how so? How so? And she said, well, it's a way they prove their masculinity. And I said, we got to show it to the rest of the Western world, you know, where men are like in crisis. And it's like, what is a man? I think that's a man. And anyway, Belinda was like, I'll do it. I'll go join in the game. I mean, I was not going to do that, but Belinda is a far more intrepid traveler, as we saw earlier, than I am. But so she jumped right in there with them and watched this.
Oh, yeah.
And so then we skedaddled out of there, and we gave them our preamble. Like, this is a show. We're in no way trying to insult your beautiful, incredible culture. We went downstairs, and this restaurant, this space, I wish we had had time to really sit and eat there, because there were just these incredible everything. Like Christmas in Mexico City, they do not play. I mean, it is huge. And there was actually a nativity scene that, you know, I'm not a practicing Catholic anymore, but this nativity scene was almost like sculpture. I wanted to bring it home. I really did. I knew it wouldn't travel well, like either on my person or like being shipped, but it was so beautiful. And, you know, it reminds me too, the day before that, I believe we had, we stumbled upon this place. I don't think it was planned, but, this was a restaurant deep in a cave, like in an ancient cave that you went down, I'm going to say like 6 to 10 stories to eat in the bottom of it. And our churro made us try these things that like we never would have even thought to order, or that on paper would have sounded like, I don't think that's going to taste great. And he said, no, I'm going to order these things. You definitely have to try them. And we didn't. It was all amazing. And again, the wonder of travel, right? You're eating like authentic Mexican food inside an ancient cave, and a fire broke out in the cave, by the way. They had all these votive candles on like different steps in the cave that had not been like modernized, you know, and we started smelling smoke, and we just thought it was like the kitchen up above us where you could watch them cook. And then we looked over there, and no, there was a fire in full flame going, and the wait staff was totally calm. Like just some waiter strolled over and he had like a fire extinguisher and he went, shh, and that was it. Everybody rolled on, you know? It wasn't like in America where everybody would have whipped out their iPhones and been like, oh my God, I narrowly escaped with my life. No, it wasn't like that at all. Today's show is sponsored by Cowboy Colostrum. Colostrum is the first milk that calves receive from their mothers after birth. It's often referred to as liquid gold because it is packed with proteins, natural growth factors, and antimicrobials. 3 factors that can enhance your immune response, reduce inflammation, repair and balance gut lining, and reduce bloating. These can even make your skin and hair look amazing. Cowboy Colostrum offers the highest quality cow colostrum in the US, and they don't process or overstrip their colostrum. They leave it whole with full fat and high protein for ultimate nutrient density. It is sourced from 100% grass-fed cows here in the US with all natural ingredients and no artificial flavors. You can add Cowboy Colostrum to your coffee or your smoothie. It's simple and it's easy to drink. I do it and I love it. You get a little frother and it's just a great whole little ritual. For a limited time, our listeners get up to 25% off their entire order. Just head to cowboycolostrum.com/Maureen and use code Maureen at checkout. That's 25% off when you use code Maureen at cowboycolostrum.com/Maureen. And then after you purchase, they are going to ask you where you heard about them. Please identify as a troublemaker and tell them that the Nerve sent you. I really wanted to see two big religious spots. Our Lady of Guadalupe, where I understand you can pronounce it both ways, Guadalupe or Guadalupe, where legend has it the Virgin Mary appeared to a humble worker, a young man, and nobody believed him. And he wound up like crawling like miles to prove that it was a real visitation. And she is depicted in the church and in the souvenir shop as how she was said to appear to this worker, which was as a Mexican woman. Mind-blowing. I love this stuff. Then we went to an ancient cathedral that dates back to the 1500s. And I'm not sure if it was Guadalupe or this cathedral, but Belinda was telling me there's a ritual in which believers literally crawl. Like it must have been Guadalupe. Like they reenact that crawling. You know, it's honestly part of the reason I'm no longer a practicing Catholic. There's a lot of mortification in that religion, a lot. Anyway, the cathedral that dates back from the 1500s, which this thing, mind-blowing. It was like a major cathedral, and then attached to it were like other little churches inside the cathedral. There was a wedding going on. It was incredible. But then when you exit the cathedral, there is a dig going on, an active archaeological dig, and what they are digging out is an ancient pyramid. So you see the part of this pyramid that has now been dug out from the current surface, and we're not sure how far down it goes, and it's basically attached to this church. And Belinda was saying that based on her reading, what she's come to understand in her travels is that sacred sites are often built upon ancient sacred sites. And sometimes it is a conscious thing a civilization does, and sometimes it's a wholly unconscious thing a civilization does. And when you see just the wildness of an ancient pyramid that is being excavated next to a centuries-old Catholic church, your mind is blown. It's blown. So the next day, this was something Belinda and her husband do just about every Sunday, and she really wanted me to experience it. So every Sunday morning, it's called the Reforma, which is like just the main roadway in Mexico City. And it runs alongside the Anthropological Museum, which I had been encouraged to go to both by Belinda and the people at my hotel. And like, I just didn't have time to get it in because Belinda and I had to get massages, because if we really wanted to travel like Tracy Ellis Ross, we had to be the kind of intrepid travelers that she was. And so would Tracy Ellis Ross have built in time to go to an anthropological museum? No. Would Tracy Ellis Ross have built in time to get a spa treatment at her hotel? Fuck yes. Okay. I went and got this massage despite my trepidation, and I was actually so nervous that Belinda came in to check in on me, and here's how that went. How nervous I am to embark on this.
So why are you
Belinda.
so nervous?
What?
Why are you so nervous?
Well, this is a spa I've never been to before, with like a masseuse I've never had before.
Oh my God.
I'm not even in the United States.
Oh my God, don't freak me out.
You know, I mean, I'm pushing the envelope of my my adventuresomeness. What's the word? My sense of intrepid curiosity.
I'm too tired. My brain won't function. But you know something? I think we should just be cautious. Okay.
Okay. So I think maybe we have a signal we send to each other if.
I'll ring two. You can call me and give me like 2 rings.
Okay.
Means that you're in trouble.
Okay.
and I'll be rushing in right away.
Okay. And if it's 3 rings, you might want to call the embassy.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not trying to be alarmist, but you know.
Okay.
Good luck.
Okay.
Good luck
I
with yours.
know. I'll need it, I think.
Thank you for checking on me.
Okay.
I appreciate it. Bye. So anyway, we did the Reforma ride that morning, and it was so fun. And this is so salient because one of the reasons we really wanted to do Mexico City first is because the messaging that we get in America, in North America, is that you would be crazy to go to Mexico, okay? Unless you're like a Jennifer Aniston and you have a private plane and you have a private villa and you have security guards or whatever, you would be crazy to go because like it's run by the cartels and it's just violence and kidnappings and murders and all of this. Not so. Mexico City is one of the most vibrant, beautiful, culturally, historically significant places I have ever been. And there's something else about the city that is ineffable, and no amount of tourism writings or guidebooks will ever really convey. And that is what a joyous city it is. The people are happy, and it transcends socioeconomic status. It really does. They are hardworking people. They are happy people. I had so much fun when I was in Mexico City. It's impossible not to. And when you do that ride on the Reforma in the morning, that bike ride, there are people out there on rollerblades. There are people out there running. There are people out there that we passed by a group class that was doing trampoline jumping on mini trampolines. And you're going through park. We went through a park that was as gorgeous as Central Park in New York City, as gorgeous, as placid, as peaceful, as awe-inspiring. It was such a great way to open up a day that was also going to be, sadly, our last day of travel. I could have stayed like another week. So then after that, we got really serious about our shopping, And for those of you who are wondering, by the way, about the rose gold sequin top I wore on a very recent nerve and the green sequin top I wore on a very recent nerve, we went shopping at a boutique that is owned by one of Belinda's friends. Belinda wore one of her dresses to an Elton John gala, and it's an incredible dress. It's a long white dress, and it's got colorful beading all down the center of it. It just goes vertically straight down. This friend of Belinda's, her name is Raquel Orozco. Her store is in a part of Mexico City called Polanco, which is an incredible space. It's like it's a really cool neighborhood. She makes this stuff, and she'll like customize stuff for you too if you want it. And Belinda was also working with Raquel while I was trying on a bunch of stuff and spending too much money, but it was money well spent. You know, I have a shopping problem. So does Belinda. So another thing we have in common. So she was working with Raquel on another possible creation for another big event she's got coming up. And you can shop Raquel's stuff on her website. If you happen to be in Mexico City, go to her boutique, okay? You will not be sorry. This is an original eye and an original mind at work. So we did that, and Raquel could not have been lovelier either. She was really, really nice and really cool. We spoke for a bit.
Oh, baby, your floor is incredible. We're dying. We've already got stuff to try on. And Belinda showed me the dress she wore to Elton John, which is just stunning. These are all your designs? Yeah, the design team or anything? Yeah, you do. Have a flower made by hand. Each of these flowers made by hand by Mexican artisans. Yeah. How long does it take to make a skirt like this?
How long? I think it's maybe 15 days.
15 days.
Yes, yeah, 15 days. It's a lot of work.
So you've got other gorgeous dresses that are similar. What is the fabric? What are these made? Oh my God.
Yeah, for example, this is Bayer. What is it?
Bayer?
Yeah, like
That is a coat?
yeah.
Oh, that's stunning. Oh, look at that.
For me, it's important the color. The color for me is an expression. That's expression. Por ejemplo, to see Mexico, the best way, because for me, Mexico is the color. Happy. Yeah, happiness. Yeah, I said somebody. It's a very happy city.
Then to wrap out our last real event of the day before going for like a nice little end of day chat over like some beautiful macarons and coffees. Belinda was like, "You've got to go see this thing with me that we love to do every Sunday at like 5:00 in the evening. This is like a real ritual there. And it's a family-oriented event, which is wild. It's called Lucha Libre, and it's Mexican wrestling. And there are all different kinds of characters. There's female wrestling. We didn't see that. But they're like, the thing about Mexican wrestling, and none of this would ever fly in America, and it's really too bad because the person who like co-ops this in America is going to make a lot of money. They really, really, really play it for laughs. Like they really lean into the characters that they're playing. And some of them you can tell they're like actually just being exaggerated versions of themselves. But there was like an amazing gay wrestler, and he came in and they're all like, they all constantly throw each other out of the ring, and then they're getting back in the ring, and they're fighting everywhere, and the crowd is laughing and the kids are loving it. And but the gay wrestler, like, you know, he was always getting jumped from behind because he was a little too worried about his hair, you know, and like he was preening, and he had like a spandex costume on with like one leg cut off so you could see like, you know, his muscly like waxed leg. And then there was another wrestler who was a little person wrestler, and again would never fly in America. And when I tell you, everybody was having the most fun and laughing, and including like the wrestlers were having a hard time keeping a straight face. That was incredible. So then after that, we went back into town to see all of the Christmas lights, to talk about the trip, and to talk about our favorite moments. And I loved this exchange that we had, because this actually kind of surprised me too. You know, Belinda and I are new friends, and we talk pretty much like over voice memo or, you know, online or, you know, but this was the first time we had actually spent like sustained amount of days with each other. And, you know, they always say the test of any real friendship or relationship is travel with that person, you know? And I really, when I was talking to her about the things that I really loved, like it kind of took me by surprise, but it was absolutely true. And I told her this, and it was a great part of our conversation. Here we go. Mexico City is incredibly beautiful.
Yeah.
And it feels very European, and it's just mind blowing. I actually don't want to leave. I would love to stay another few days. And, you know, the other thing I just want to say, like one of my favorite real parts, you know, yesterday we spent a lot of time driving back and forth in the car, and really one of my favorite parts was just chatting with you for like hours in the back seat.
And just sitting and looking out the window, and then go, oh yeah, you know, and going on. Yeah, it was great. I loved spending time with you.
I do too.
It was wonderful.
So fun, and I'm so happy I now have like a real travel pal who loves travel and friend. No, a real friend. You know, I don't know if you noticed this. I noticed it. I think by day 3, I noticed it. Like every time we would meet up in the morning, we were wearing the same color palette.
I didn't notice that.
When you'll look, it's like day 1, we had like tan sweaters and like the same wash jean. Day 2, we had like black, same wash jeans, sneakers. Today we're both wearing designer flats. Not for nothing.
Oh, that is hysterical.
Isn't that funny?
That is really funny.
So it was.
I was a bit done with the trainers.
Me too.
That's not my thing, really.
Me too. But yeah, it was the most fun.
Yeah, it was great. I love seeing the place where I live through somebody's eyes who's never been here before.
Yeah.
It makes it really fun for me, and showing. I mean, I love the culture, and the people are just so warm and friendly. I mean, it's I can't say enough about how great Mexico is.
I don't think there's a better ambassadress for Mexico City than Belinda Carlisle.
That's true.
Who got recognized, by the way, at wrestling.
I know. That's a first. That is hysterical. That's Yeah, I didn't see that, but Morgan
I didn't see that either,
yeah.
but your husband caught it. Yeah, it's so funny. All in all, Belinda and I both felt like the trip was a huge success, that as joint troublemakers, we accomplished everything we pretty much set out to accomplish. And that if you guys like our episodes, we would like to bring you more. And so we have a question for you. Here we go. We're not aware of any travel shows that are done by two women traveling together.
No, that's true. That's true. I can think of solo females, but no two women together that can, have different points of view and laugh about things.
And laugh about things, and traveling as a woman is so different. If you're a man, you can travel through the world differently. You don't think twice about a lot of stuff, but women move through the world differently.
Yeah.
And so we've loved bringing you this, and we are thinking, if you guys liked this as much as we loved doing it, we have ideas for a potential second destination.
Right.
Belinda, do you want to start with? We have
Yes.
3.
The first one being the Galapagos Islands.
Yes, both of us are obsessed with the
Yes.
Galapagos and have never been.
Yes. Number 2.
Oh, well, before we get into number 2, if we go to the Galapagos, it's not just about the animals.
No, it's about the murder.
The murders that took place, or I don't know how many there were.
I think I just know of the one of that socialite that was murdered, but who knows? Maybe there's more.
Who knows? Maybe there's more. And there's a murder hotel. It's run by the descendants of the utopians who tried to build their own paradise there in the 20s. So murder and exotic animals, number 1, Galapagos. Number 2
would be Egypt.
right.
Egypt. And not going with like a normal sort of tour group kind of thing, right?
Exactly. Not normal tours at all. We want to do this. Our idea for travel, and the way both of us love to travel, is everything you would never see in a travel guide, Travelocity.
Exactly. And there's so many new discoveries that are being made right now on the Giza Plateau, and that the academia doesn't really want to talk about.
Regarding the pyramids.
Yeah, so there's like a lot of amazing sort of esoteric researchers and archaeologists out there who are making amazing discoveries. So we're going to find one of those guys to go with.
Yeah. One of Belinda's hot guys from YouTube. And then also there's the newly opened Egyptian Museum,
Oh my God.
full of artifacts, mummies, antiquities that have never before been seen. They just opened after decades of developing this
Right.
thing from it. So we want to bring you that.
We do.
And then our third is a really, really interesting one. It's very tantalizing to me.
It's the south of France, starting in like a glam capital like Cannes, and working our way southwest towards Toulouse through Cathar country in search of Mary Magdalene.
Where you told me there's
a basilica there, the Basilica of Saint Maximin, where it's not marked. It's really weird. And I discovered it around, what was that, Da Vinci Code. And if you go to this basilica, there's a sign with it says crypt. You go down the crypt and you walk through to the end, and it lights up, and there's a skull and a vial of skin, old leathery skin from Mary Magdalene, with Saint Maximin on one side and Saint Sidoin on the other side. And it's fascinating to me because why don't people know about that? And then if you go that whole south of France, west towards the Camargue and towards Toulouse, there's a lot of really strange stuff there.
a lot of really strange stuff, interesting stuff. It's Da Vinci Code stuff, but even deeper and darker and more fascinating. So that's the kind of stuff we really would get into. And also we love to go find catacombs. Catacombs, did I say that correctly?
Exactly, catacombs. And there's also an amazing a cave there that it wouldn't fly in America because people would see this. You can fall pretty easily.
Oh.
But if you go towards the back, you pass graffiti from like the 1400s, and you go to the back of the cave. It's like cavernous. It's huge. It's like fairyland. Stalagmites and lakes. I mean, it's wild. And you go to the back of the cave, and there's ancient cave paintings that look like Marc Chagall.
Like Chagall's. Oh my God. So those are our three potential destinations: Galapagos, Egypt, south of France, Da Vinci Code stuff. You guys should vote. Tell us where you want us to go next. And we will come back to you with the results.
Yes, I'm excited.
Belinda, what a trip. What a trip.
I'm so glad you enjoyed it.
I knew you were
going to love it. I knew you were going to love it.
I loved it.
It was really, really fun for me. And I wish you were staying a couple days longer.
Yeah, me too.
There's so much stuff to do here.
But there's always another trip to take. So you tell us where we're going to go. So there you have it. We're going to post this as a poll on our social media. You can go vote over at The Nerve Show or at Maureen Callahan Writer. Go chime in also on Belinda's IG. She is Travels with Mrs. Mason. Where should we go next? Should it be the Galapagos? Should it be Egypt? Or should it be the spookier side of the south of France? Let us know. And that's it. That's it for our first edition of The Nervy Traveler. We hope you had as much fun watching it as we had making it. See you next year in like 5 days at The Nerve, where you will never guess what we're about to say next. The new year is just around the corner, as we know, but there is no space in my life. This is true for punishing resolutions. I don't believe in resolutions, okay? I prefer to focus on the positives. Self-care is a major positive, and I love OS01 body lotion. It is great for everything, whether you have like a little bit of crepiness on your neck or your upper arms. It's gonna help really ameliorate all of that stuff. I mean, I love it. My skin feels denser. It gets like a sort of bouncy feel. And what makes one skin different is the science. At the core is their patented, OS01 peptide, the first ingredient proven to target senescent cells, which are the root cause of wrinkles, crepiness, and loss of elasticity, which are all key signs of skin aging. These results have been validated in 5 different clinical studies. Certified safe for sensitive skin, OneSkin products are free from over 1,500 harsh or irritating ingredients, dermatologist tested, and has been awarded the National Eczema Association Seal of Acceptance by the NEA, delivering powerful results without irritation for a limited time. OneSkin is making it even easier to stay consistent with up to 30% off your first 3 subscription orders when you use code NERVE at oneskin.co/nerve. That's up to 30% off with code NERVE after you purchase. They'll ask where you heard about them. Please tell them you are a troublemaker and the Nerve sent you.